The Offkai Fansley situation is absolutely disgusting. Oh, I heard about this. This is so weird. Like, don't kids go to these?
Hey, what's up guys, Riff here. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about the very troubling situation involving the VTuber convention Offkai Expo. Now, this convention has been mired in controversy in the past for blacklisting creators like Kirsha over wrongthink. However, with this year's convention,
That pretty much already tells me all I need to know about this event.
there are many featured guests that are very problematic in their own right and hypocritical, as we'll see later on in this video. But this year's convention is mainly mired in controversy because there is adult content being featured in open spaces of the convention where minors as young as 13 are allowed to walk around freely. Now, adult content being present at a VTuber anime related convention is nothing surprising, but typically those sorts of areas are walled off and they require some form of ID or verification to get in. But with Offkai Expo, those as young as 13 can enter those areas, and that is the
What?
main concern. Back in May, there was
They don't even like. So it's open.
an announcement from Offkai announcing that one of their biggest sponsors is Fansly, which of course is a platform that hosts adult content, and people were immediately annoyed by the fact this sort of sponsor is featured at a convention like this. But there's a much more serious concern, as pointed out in replies like this, saying kids walk around during the day. Surely this is not being done while kids are around, correct? Surely we're really not going to put adult content in front of children, right? Well, unfortunately, that's exactly what's happening. As you can see
What the fuck? It's right in the open. Not even like a back corner or something. It's right in the middle.
from the layout of the uh, main hall, the expedition hall here, you can see Fansly right smack dab in the middle of everything. And what makes this very disturbing is the fact that minors as young as 13 are allowed in this portion of the convention as long
How is this not? I feel like this should be illegal, right? Like you can't just freely. I don't know, but I feel like it shouldn't be legal.
as they have a parent with them, or they have a minor consent form filled out. Only in California, ladies and gentlemen, is
That explains it.
something like this allowed to exist. Now, of course, this whole problem could be avoided by simply banning minors from this convention. I mean, why wouldn't they just do that in the first place? But instead, they're allowing
Yeah, or like have the 18 plus section completely sectioned off with like age and ID checks.
minors with these exceptions to walk around the convention and be exposed to adult content. And as we enter the final day of Offkai,
They're like this this weird like obsession with normalizing porn and adult content in public is so weird because everybody's like it's just becoming normal for people to be so weird and sexual all the time.
Expo 2026, the very apparent reality involving this convention has become true. You can see Fansly promoting their booth saying, Offkai is open. If you're a creator, come collect your free swag bag before they're gone. If you're not a creator, come say hi anyway. We don't bite. Your favorite VTuber is probably at our booth today. Come verify that for yourself. And of course,
There's definitely going to be kids going to that. There's going to be tons going to that. And it says 18 plus at the top. You know they don't care.
people are just, again, not very enthused to see this sort of platform being a featured sponsor of this event. But as people form,
This is why they're trying to mix all this shit together, though. Every creative space needs to have some direct line to women prostituting themselves in some way. Yeah, exactly. It's weird. The normalization of it is so bad and it's so toxic for society. What the fuck are we doing?
Being a featured sponsor of this event. But as people are going around the convention, they are seeing that this booth is front and center at the Expedition Hall, which
Brightly lit
again is
up for
open
everyone to
for
see.
minors as young as 13. And things would get even more troubling, as pointed out in this tweet, where there is a QR code you can scan with no account required whatsoever, no verification, no vetting process whatsoever, that opens up some of the related VTubers at this convention. And obviously, I can't play through the video this user provided, going through the various links and videos provided. But of course, to give you a very brief and censored description of what we're looking at, you have one VTuber with
Wait, why is her face censored?
stuff on her face
Oh.
describing self-pleasure, another one basically doing a striptease, another one doing a job, ASMR, and also many other lewd content, including real life content, not just VTubers, but all of this stuff obviously extremely not safe
Back in my day, we kept our sexual fetishes in our bedrooms.
for work, which again is something you can access as young as 13, walking through this convention with no account required, no verification process whatsoever. Again, this stuff is not too surprising at a VTuber anime related convention, but the fact that it's so accessible to minors is the problem. All of this could have been avoided if they just made the convention itself 18 plus, or they restricted access to this booth to the yabai market, which is
Something tells me they didn't for a reason. So weird.
18 plus. They could have just done that, but instead they're allowing it in the Expedition Hall. And of course, you think back to the sort of standards Offkai Expo has, and it goes back to Kirsha. Kirsha was supposed to be a featured guest with a panel at Offkai Expo a few years ago, and I covered this in a video back then, but she was blacklisted from this event. She lost her panel, although they allowed her to continue to go to the events and also buy a ticket, but
She was blacklisted from the convention for making volunteers uncomfortable with her tweets.
not be a featured guest, which is incredibly greedy and ridiculous. But she was banned over wrongthink, where after twisting the arm of some of the people behind this convention, they revealed that basically some of her tweets were a little too problematic, a little too wrongthink for this
You know what's problematic? Advertising porn to children.
convention. And I remember one of the examples that they provided right here was her labeling her Discord pronouns as
What the fuck is this extension? Jafif. What the fuck is a Jafif?
Burger Queen, mocking the fact that Discord is trying to force pronouns into people's bios. But then we have all this nonsense involving this year's convention featuring VTubers like Kawaii Grin here, who had this to say: meet and greet tomorrow at 1 p.m. But I'm in the Fansly booth all day today if you want to say hello.
What the
Ovulating,
fuck?
by the way, which is a ridiculous and insane thing to say.
That is
before
weird as
not only
fuck.
doing a meet and greet as a VTuber, but doing it not even as a VTuber, but in the flesh. Like, VTubing? Is this what we're doing? Like, yeah,
Her model mogs her, by the way.
this already annoys a lot of people, but then this is the focus. But when I looked at this account, I was like, this looks really familiar. And of course, it's because, well, I made a video about this VTuber a couple of years ago. You can see the title: Hypocritical VTuber Risks Career, Slandering Body Pillow Company. So
This is like that Mint situation. Like, they, you're a pedo, fuck. Who's the talk? These people always projecting. It's crazy.
Here's the context, a little trip down memory lane here.
I can already see it
They
coming.
called out a company called Cuddly Octopus. They're one of many to fall into this same pattern of behavior, by the way. Cuddly Octopus sells body pillows for VTubers, and Kawaii Grin decided to make a public post calling them out and just outright slandering them, saying that they're selling literal CP because they believe some of the characters depicted were underage and being depicted in not safe for work situations, and were mocking people who disagreed with this notion. Now, reminder, this is back in 2023 when likes were still public on Twitter, and wow, what a better era. Things were so much more fun back then when you could just scroll through
You
the
instantly
publicly
knew.
listed likes of all these people virtue signaling about fictional content and immediately expose them as massive hypocrites consuming the exact same content they're trying to slander people over on Twitter. But anyways,
Brownie points.
I tried to warn them, right, when they initially made their call out post, which of course is now deleted, where I said your likes are public, like, come on, LMAO, but they did not listen. So I went forward with a video, not just because of the tweet, but because of a subsequent stream where she would crash out, call me out by name, mock me as basically irrelevant, and tried to excuse her behavior because A, she doesn't know anything about anime and manga, and B, it was only like one character that she was unfortunately caught with in her likes, which is a outright lie. So I want to watch a small portion of this video with you guys because it's really a great trip down memory lane, and it shows not only the hypocrisy of this VTuber, but as someone who slanders companies in the past, somehow getting to work with Offkai Expo when that same convention banned Kirsha over wrong thing, including jokes about pronouns. But let's get right into it. Rev, what do you have to say?
Yeah, like some people who are like open lolly lovers or open people who like lewd lollies or are like pedos basically.
Like you, by your own standards.
Like, bro, your likes are public. Your likes are
They
public. And I don't feel like
They were.
anything fucking
They were.
like, I don't know what you're talking about. So they did screenshot some, and I do feel fucking terrible.
She feels
honestly,
terrible.
because I didn't even realize like some of the characters were underage.
Well, first of all, Your Honor, I didn't know they were underage. And of course, this is her standard, right?
She
She's
said she was
calling
18.
people predators over fictional content and saying this company is selling body pillows featuring CP. And her excuse when she gets caught with that stuff in her likes is that she didn't know any better. But as I will point out in this video, it's pretty clear that she's a massive hypocrite. I'm going to do you a favor here and get you a whole host of images you can see on the screen. This is like the diet version of what I'm going to do. These are underage characters. There's a lot worse in her likes. There's characters elementary school.
What do you mean she didn't know they were underage? Komi is in high school. Nagatoro is in high school. Bochi is in high school, right? What the fuck? You bullshit.
Aged and actual lolicon, but I'm going to start with the
Not an
high
exaggeration,
school
by the way.
There's a little compilation, and she'll later state she doesn't know anything about anime, so I'm going to give her a little bit of a lesson on these characters. So right there.
By the way, I don't give a shit. You can look at it, you can like it, but don't get on your fucking soapbox and try to be such a good person who hates pedos and hates all this not safe for work stuff, and then turn around and do it yourself.
You got Nagatoro, who is 15, Hatsune Miku, who's 16, Hitori from Bocchi the Rock, who is 16, Komi-san, who's between the ages of 15 to 17 in that series. You have Karin from Blue Archive, who is 16. Good for her. Spider-Gwen, who in the Spider-Verse era is between 14 to 16 from what I can see. And, you know, every single image on this screen would make her a predator for liking them if you apply her own standards back to her. Now, And then there's the Marin Kitagawa wall as well. But of course, this goes back to that era with likes being public. It was so easy to expose people spouting off about fictional content and thinking they have the moral high ground when in reality they're massive hypocrites.
Imagine trying to moralize about fake stuff anyway. Fiction. It's fictional. Imagine what are you doing? It's not real. Chill out. What's wrong with you? Go lay down.
But it gets way worse than that. So that's just kind of a blanket, easy statement right there where it's like she says anything that's underage, you're a predator for liking characters depicted in that sort of a way. There's a huge compilation of screenshots. And by the way, Marin Kitagawa is 15 years old in My Dress Up Darling, just to confirm that. But she also goes on to make other excuses, basically saying the characters she likes are similar in appearance to her VTuber model. And, well, that is a standard I don't think she really wanted to bring up because it just makes her look even worse. And drop.
So, by what she's saying, these underage characters look like her character, and she's sexualizing her character, so she's sexualizing underage characters.
They're not like little lolly-looking avatars either. They're like full-blown art pieces, and they look very well endowed, like women. They look like.
So you're a lolly if you don't have big tits, is what she thinks. Anybody who has small boobs is a lolly.
Well endowed. And they look like her model. Wow.
I'm an uneducated anime person, and I guess that's my fault.
Yeah, so this is the part of the video where I'm just going to put the worst stuff on the screen. These are all elementary school aged characters and
going by her standard, that first one right here, isn't that a child, basically? If you were to go off her standards, that's kind of sus.
Or hardcore lolicon. I will spare you the description here, but like most of these characters are in elementary school or middle school, and she was describing these characters as well endowed and that they looked just like her own VTuber model that is more
looking awfully flat to me.
Busty, of course. I mean, it's just insane levels of hypocrisy. And this was really the reason why I made this video back in 2023, because not only did she get caught on Twitter being a hypocrite, but she went on stream like this, making her heart-wrenching soliloquy, defending herself and deflecting any sort of blame, taking zero accountability, but also name-dropping me as well.
I don't read manga, so I do feel fucking terrible.
What if she'll call her a Nazi?
We're underage because they're like well endowed, they look like adults. But that's the thing also, like I feel bad. I didn't know they were under, like, Rev says Desu. Oh, that's like a random account.
It's just a random account. Well, that random account is still here in 2026.
Hasn't aged a day, by the way. Looking good, Rev.
Kawaii Grin, and here I am still making YouTube videos, and here you are at Offkai Expo doing a meet and greet for Fansly. How things have evolved over the years, but this all goes back to the standards at Offkai, right?
Someone please keep her away from the kids at Offkai. Holy shit.
They banned Kirsch over Wrongthink, but
like if she thinks lolly content is actual pedo stuff, maybe she's right when it comes to herself.
They allow this person who has a history of slandering companies and being a massive hypocrite and a tourist who doesn't know anything about anime or manga but calls people predators over the same content she consumes as well from those mediums. It's just insane. It's just insane. It really reflects terribly on this convention. And now she's there working with this booth that is accessible to minors as young as 13. Where's that moral high ground she used to have, right? She would virtue signal about this stuff so hard back in the day, but has no problem working with this convention knowing
she would project about it
full well minors as young as 13 will be walking around in have access to this booth she is doing a meet and greet at, where she is promoting herself in a very, let's just say, risque.
It's sexualized. She's promoting herself in a sexualized way. It's obvious.
Sort of way, not to mention the fact that we have the whole QR code situation. But yeah, this is a terrible look. I'm not some prude. I'm sorry. Like, I am not some prude for saying that VTuber and anime conventions should have guardrails in place to prevent minors from accessing adult content. Is that woke of me? Is that too woke of me? Like, it's so simple. They should have made this an 18 plus convention, or at the very least, made this
It's just be normal.
sort of stuff in the yabai market, which is supposed to be
Why is everybody so weird now? Freaks have been let out of the cage.
for adults. The reason why they didn't do that flabbergasts me. I don't understand why they wouldn't do that in the first place. It seems totally, totally irresponsible. But hey, that's the situation we're in now. And as they conclude their convention, I hope it was all worth it, because their reputation has continued to take a massive blow thanks to their antics this year. But that's going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed, please consider giving the video a like, consider subscribing, and turning on notifications for daily uploads, as well as multiple streams every week live here on YouTube. But overall, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.
Like, to be honest, even having sexualized things anywhere, like within the convention grounds, is a little weird if kids are allowed to attend at all, because like even adults kind of being exposed to sexual things nearby children, I feel like that's a little weird too. Yeah, but restricting access should be the bare minimum, in my opinion. It's so weird. I don't get it.